or two folded blankets. Place them in the center of the mat and then back a little ways. Just a few inches because you're actually going to sit at the edge of this blanket and bring your legs into the cross-legged position. Take your hands to your knees and sit tall. If your knees are much higher than your hips, add a few more blankets. Okay. So with your hands on your knees, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, lengthen the neck. Take the shoulders and elbows back. Bring the palms together, close the eyes. You can let the chin drop towards the chest a little. And take a few deep breaths, maintaining the nice long spine. Bringing your awareness inside. And relax the muscles in your face. Keep the side ribs long. Inhale once more. And then as you exhale, you can lower the palms and slowly open your eyes. The first pose that we'll be doing is downward facing dog. So you can remove your blanket now. You can come onto all fours and you're going to take your hands, really spread the palms. They're going to lengthen from your pinkies to the inner wrist to your thumbs. And try to get the pinkies and the thumbs to line up with one another. Keep the wrists directly underneath the shoulders. Roll the upper arms out so that the inner elbows are facing forward. Okay, like so. Roll the upper arms out. And then let the back be concave. Create a little dip in the back to begin stretching the abdominal walls. Curl the big toes under. Inhale as you look forward. And then as you exhale, press into the palms. Lengthen the arms. Keep the upper arms rolling out. And bring the crown of the head nice and low. Try to get it to the yoga mat. Now I like to start with keeping my knees bent at first so I can focus on the upper body. And once I feel like my spine is nice and long, I'm pressing into the palms. Well, then I step my feet one at a time and take the heels to the floor. Separate the feet. You can have the feet as wide apart as your yoga mat. Okay, take the heels to the floor, press the thighs back. Relax the neck completely. And keep going through those actions. Rolling the upper arms out, lengthening the arms back, lengthening the spine, pressing the thighs back, taking the heels to the floor. But remember to maintain a smooth, even breath in the pose. Breathe in, breathe out, and keep going through those actions. Relax the gaze. One more breath. And then you can inhale and come down and rest. Bring your knees to the floor. Lengthen the toes back. Bring your bottom down. And then lengthen the arms forward as you let the forehead come down to the mat. And take a few breaths here. Breathing into the belly, letting the belly press into the thighs. One more breath. Okay. And then you can come up. You can sit in the back of the mat, in the middle, and then extend the legs to the front corners of the mat. And then you can use your hands to bring your bottom forward to that front edge as well. And then we're going to take the palms, cup them behind the hips, behind the back, and sit tall. Lift the bottom ribs, press the inner thighs down, extend through the heels, and then spread the toes. Toes point straight up. For most people, it's going to be a deep stretch on the inner thighs, so just take a minute here and breathe into this position. Continuing to press the thighs down, spreading the toes, lifting the chest, and then take your right hand to your right toes, take your left hand to your hip, continue to keep the legs active, and lift the chest, as you reach for those right toes. And you kind of turn your gaze, turn your chin up a little to help open up the front of the chest. Okay, and then reach for the left toes. Bring your right hand to your hip. Again, kind of turn the chest up, lift the chin a little. Press the other thighs down, extend through the heels, spread the toes. Okay, and then come back up to center, sit tall. And then take your hands in front of you and walk your hands forward. Gently. Continuing the actions of the legs, pressing the inner thighs down, extending through the heels, lifting the chest, keep the spine long. You can rock all the way down until your head's resting on the floor if you want. I'm not going to make it all the way down today. But as you get lower, keep the spine long, of course, but you can begin to gaze at the floor. Okay, and then walk your hands back. Gently bring your legs in. Back into the cross-legged position. And take a breath here, in and out. Okay, and then we're going to do a standing pose. So grab 2 to 4 blocks. I have 2, so I'll be demonstrating 2. And have 2 blocks along the back edge of your mat with a narrow side down. You can adjust the blocks as needed for your particular body in this pose. Okay, so from Tadasana, standing tall, you can jump or step the feet wide apart. Make the outer edges of your feet parallel, have a nice big stance. Lift the chest. Turn the right foot all the way out, left toe slightly in. Okay, and then focus on the legs for a minute. You want this left thigh rolling out. You want to keep the right foot active, pressing into the tripod of the foot so the inner ankle is lifting. Press into your outer left heel. Keep this left knee tight. Keep it firm, okay? And then even out the hips. So my hips automatically want to tilt. You've got to adjust that. Keep the hips even, parallel to the floor. Lift the chest. Inhale, exhale, and bend the right knee. Take your right hand to the block. Bring that block into the leg. Okay, you want to try to make a 90-degree angle with your right leg. Lengthen the inner thigh to get there. Keep that left knee firm. With your left hand on your hip, roll the left shoulder back. Keep the chest open. Breathe into the pose. Take your left hand to your ear, and then extend. Tita Parshvanottanasana. So you're going to extend through the fingertips down into the outer left heel. Be aware of that right leg. And again, kind of repeat those actions in your head as you breathe into this pose. Keep the chest open. And then inhale, left hand to the hip. Straighten the right leg, come up nice and strong. Turn your toes to face forward. Take a breath here. Second side. Left foot all the way out. Roll the left thigh out. And then right toe slightly in. Balance the hips. Lift the chest. Keep your knees firm. Inhale, lift, and then exhale and come down, bending the left knee, bringing that left block, taking your hand to the left block, and bringing the block into the body. With your right hand on your hip, roll the right shoulder back. Keep this chest open by rolling the ribs up. And then right hand to the ear, inhale, and exhale and reach. Now, you can gaze forward in this pose, or you can gaze up at the palm. If you're feeling good with your balance, gazing forward, you can try looking up. Keep the chest open. Lengthen the inner left thigh. Keep your right knee firm. Keep the breath soft. Keep the face soft. up strong. Turn your feet to face forward, and then you can step the feet back together. Take a breath in Tadasana. And when I come into Tadasana, I roll the front thighs in, press into the feet, press the thighs back, and lift the chest with nice long arms at my sides. Okay, and then we're going to do a forward bend. Okay, so you're going to step at the back edge of the mat, feet wide apart for this pose. Press into the feet, roll the front thighs in. And then try to create a sense of lift along the inner legs. So kind of lift them up. Shoulders, elbows back. Okay, now your blocks are going to be at the front edge of the mat, about shoulder width apart. Firm the legs. Inhale and lift. You can look up for a deeper stretch. Exhale, bend forward at the waist, taking your hands to the blocks. You want the wrist under the shoulder still. Roll the front thighs in, lift the backs of the thighs up. The back is in a concave position here. Okay, so I'll show that from the side. Okay, and then you can lower the level of the blocks here. Keep breathing into the pose. As long as the back stays concave, you can go all the way to the floor. If your back is tight and it starts to round, that's when you want to bring those blocks in because it should help get that action. Okay, so continue to breathe into this pose. Keep the front thighs rolling in. Press into the feet with awareness. Okay, so from concave, inhale. And then second part of the pose, you're going to lower the blocks. You can bring them to the back edge of the mat, or you can take your hands to the floor. And if you want, you can walk your feet further apart here. Like it always feels better to separate my feet a little more once I come all the way down. So you want your wrist in line with the heels of your feet, fingertips pointing forward. Draw the bottom tips of the shoulder blades up so the shoulders come away from the ears. Breathe. Okay. And then inhale, come back up to the concave position, readjusting the blocks as needed. And then to come out, you're going to go heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, until you can come up back into Tadasana. We're going to do one more standing pose. We are going to do Uttanasana, forward bend. So again, have the blocks at the front edge of the mat. They can be actually on the mat or just in front. Okay, and then stand at the back center of the mat. And we're going to take our hands to your hips, step the feet apart a little bit, about hip width apart. Press into the tripods of the feet, firm the legs, lift the chest, press the thighs back a little as you lift the chest, and then turn the palms to face the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen the arms up, lift the bottom ribs, and then exhale, bend forward at the waist, coming into Uttanasana. And here's where you use your blocks to achieve that concave back position. So again, if it's easy, you can play around the level of the blocks, getting lower and lower to the floor, and closer to the classic position. But you can also add blocks, of course. So imagine I have two more here if this is not enough height. So you can certainly always add or take away. Inhale again. This time as you exhale, lengthen the body over the legs and walk your hands back by your sides. Again, using the blocks if you would like to. Taking your hands to the floor if you would like to. Check your kneecaps in this position. Both kneecaps should be facing forward. So if they're not, you need to roll your front thighs in more, and you might find that you have to put more effort into one leg than the other. Okay, so let the spine lengthen, let the head hang low, relax the neck completely. Draw the bottom tips of the shoulder blades up. And breathe. This one feels so good. Okay, and then come back to concave. Readjusting the blocks as needed. Taking another deep breath. And then you can bend the knees, take your hands to your hips, and come out. Okay, take a breath. And Tadasana. Alright, and then we're going to do a twist, a seated twist. One of them, Asana twist. You can turn the mat so that the narrow edge is facing forward. And then sit in Dandasana, staff pose, on the floor. Okay, so legs are fully extended. Hands are cupped by your sides to help lift the chest. Keep the left leg pressing down, then you're going to bring your right foot in. Bend the right knee, take your right foot over the outer left leg. You want the heel to be behind the knee. And you can take both hands to that right knee at first to help lift the chest. And practice with the leg action. So you're pressing the inner left thigh down, extending through that left heel, spreading the toes, and then your right foot is gently pressing down as well. You want to avoid letting the knee move too much in this pose. So try to keep it pointing straight up. And then you can take your right hand, cup your hand, and take it behind the back. And then we're going to begin lifting and turning the chest towards the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale and twist. Okay, now once I get so far, I'm going to take my left elbow to the outer right knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale and turn. And you can just have your fingers pointing up, lengthening up. Inhale, lift. Exhale and turn. Okay, so that right hand is helping us lift at the very base of the spine as we lengthen and twist all the way up through the crown of the head. Then breathe. Inhale and lift as you unwind. And cross the right foot. Extend it down. Lengthen the toes. Lengthen the legs forward. Let's take the arms up, and in between the sides, let's reach for the toes in our forward bend. And this is just a gentle stretch. Reaching for those toes, lengthening the arms and legs evenly. Keeping the spine long and the breath smooth. You can look at the legs. You should look at the legs. And then second side. Bend the left knee, step the left foot in. Step it over the right leg, making sure that the heel is back behind the knee. Extend through the right heel, press the inner right thigh down. Press into the left foot gently. Take your hands to that left knee. Lengthen and lift the side ribs. And then we'll begin to turn. So take your left hand, cup it behind the back. You can use your right hand on the knee at first to help lift and turn the chest towards the left. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. Okay, and then you can take your right elbow to that outer left knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale and turn. Twisting from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. Okay. Inhale and lift as you unwind. Turn to face forward once more. And across the legs. Extend them both forward. Press the inner thighs down. Lengthen the arms up once more. And then gentle forward bend. Reaching for the toes. Softening the upper body towards the legs. Let the shoulders relax down. Release any tension in the face. And breathe. Okay, inhale, come up. We'll do one or two more poses. Let's do Tadasana, gate latch pose. I really enjoy gate latch pose. if you have bad knees, you can either skip this pose completely if you're not comfortable, or you can add more than just one blanket. I always recommend one blanket because it's a pose that does put a lot of pressure on the knees. I have students who add more than one blanket, and I have some students who just skip this pose completely and will modify and do something different. But here is the setup. You're going to have one block in each corner of the front of the mat, so 2 blocks total. And for the first, for the right side of the pose, you're going to have this folded blanket slightly off to the left of your mat, not quite in the center. And you're going to come sit on that blanket, have the blanket lined up to the front edge of the mat, and take a breath here. Okay, then hands forward. You're going to come onto the knees. You're going to lengthen and press all 10 toes down. And then pop up with your hands on your hips. Step the right foot out to the side, keeping the right foot along the front edge of the mat. And then you're going to extend that right leg and rest the toe ball mounds on the top of that block. So you might have to move the block in a little, you might have to move it out a little, but you don't want to have to reach for the block. Okay, always bring it in just enough to where I'm pushing it away just a hair, so I know my leg's fully lengthening. Okay, so roll the right thigh out, spread the right toes, keep the left toes pressing down. Take the top of the right hand to the top of the right thigh. Lift the chest. Lengthen the left arm by the side, left palm facing the ceiling. Inhale, swing the left arm up, lift. Okay, inhale again. And then as you exhale, you're going to latch the gate. Bring the palms together. Keep that left thigh rolling deeply out, pulling it up into your hip. You want to avoid letting the left shoulder come down. Okay, that's kind of like cheating in the pose. You want to try to keep the chest open as you attempt to interlock your hands. So gaze up, roll the ribs up, and breathe. Okay, inhale, come up, swing the left hand back, take your right hand to your hip as well. To come out, step your right foot in, take your hands to the floor, and then bring your right knee down safely. And then we'll do second side. So you can move the blanket off to the right edge of the mat a little. Okay. Come onto the knees and take a breath here, sitting. And then pop up, spread, press all 10 toes down. Step your left foot out to the side, and then take your toe ball mounts to that block. You want your knee and your heel in line with one another is what you're doing. That's why you can use the front edge of your mat to help you with that alignment. Spread and press the right toes down. Spread the left toes, roll the left thigh out and pull the outer left thigh up into your hip bone. Lift the chest, top of left hand to the top of the left thigh. Lengthen the right arm by your side with the palm facing the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen right arm up. Inhale again, and then as you exhale, begin latching the gate, rolling the left thigh deeply out, rolling the ribs up. So in other words, take the right ribs back, left ribs forward. Breathe. That's a very deep stretch. Okay, and then you inhale to come out, right hand to hip. Take your left hand back up to your hip as well. Step the left foot in. Take your hands to the floor and bring both legs together. Sit back on your legs. Take a breath here with your palms on your thighs. Nice deep breath. Okay, and then let's do one more pose. Let's do upward legs at the wall. So you do want your mat, if you're not on the wall, you want to be. You want to take the short edge of your mat to the wall. You don't need any other props for this pose. Okay, upward extended legs up wall. So it does matter how you come into this pose. I think that your strongest pose you'll be able to perform if you come into it properly. So you want to sit with the right side of your body up against the wall. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Notice I'm kind of sitting on the edge of my mat, and then what I do is I get my hands to the floor, and I use them to help press my bottom into the floor as I lay the left side of my body down on the mat. Okay? And then from there I roll back, extend the legs, lengthen the spine, let the arms rest by your sides. Feels so good. Okay, so hopefully you're doing the same. And now roll the front thighs in, lift the inner ankles up, spread the toes, and then you're kind of drawing the outer legs, outer hips, outer thighs down as you let the arms be heavy. Breathe in and breathe out. And just gently remind yourself to keep the legs active by pressing the thighs in, lifting the inner ankles up, spreading the toes, drawing the outer legs down. Flatten the sacrum into the floor. Let the fingers curl naturally. You can turn the lights off for this pose if you'd like. Breathe into the belly. Let the breath be soft. You can stay in this pose for several minutes. Relax the throat. Breathe into the belly. Okay, so stay longer if you'd like, but I'm going to come out now. I'm going to bend the knees. Take the right arm overhead. Roll into the right side to come out safely. And then we'll set up for savasana, corpse pose. And I really like to use 2 blankets for this pose, but I'm just going to use one today, as a pillow. And to come in the corpse pose, you just want to lie down on your mat, coming down safely. And the pillow is going to be just for the head, okay? Not for the neck or the shoulders, but just for the head. And then you're going to extend your heels, extend through the heels, let your feet fall out to the side. Let the arms rest by your sides as well. This would be a pose to turn the lights off for. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let go completely. Goal of the pose is to completely relax the body from head to toe. So focus on your breath. And every time you exhale, let the body become softer, heavier, and more relaxed. Nice deep breaths into the lower belly. Relax the forehead. Relax the eyes. Relax the cheeks. You can stay in this pose for 5 to 10 minutes. And then to come out, we're going to take your hands to your abdomen. Take the right arm overhead. Bend the knees. Roll onto the right side to come up. And then come back into the cross-legged position. Palms together, closing the eyes. Take a deep breath. And then exhale. Namaste. Okay, thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again next time.